Call 800-935-0994 or visit everythingbrakes.com.
Coming up on First at 4, a controversial bill is moving its way through Frankfort. Plus, folks in the community are still mourning the death of 3 students killed in a shooting on the campus of Michigan State University.
Plus, watching the chances for strong storms and heavy rain throughout the mountains. The latest details ahead as First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Certainly been a soggy day, and we've also seen some high water problems, but is more rain on the way? Meteorologist Evan Hatter joins us again for the latest on this First Alert Weather Day. Evan.
Well, Steve, I don't think we're done yet with the potential for heavy rain and even a few strong storms. We continue to see a few strong storms in our western sections, though the good news, our severe thunderstorm warning for Pulaski County was allowed to expire about 90 seconds ago. Here's a look outside from downtown Somerset, where it is still coming down hard as we watch the backside of this thunderstorm begin to push through the region. The leading edge is now pushing into eastern parts of Pulaski County. There's the look from Lake Cumberland, where we are seeing very heavy rain push across the lake right now, at least from the Pulaski County side at this point. Here's a look throughout the region. We have some light to moderate rain along and north of the Mountain Parkway corridor, but the heaviest rain continues into portions of Pulaski and Rockcastle counties. No severe weather in progress right now. I'll back it up a little and we'll kind of track this. 40-mile-per-hour winds possible with this whole section of storms, basically from north of Berea to about Monticello. This is pushing east at 65 miles per hour. So let's track it. Berea right now, Symbol by 442. If it holds together, toward London by 448. Corbin area by about 450, 453. Burning Springs there in Clay County by about 5 o'clock. And if it holds together as it is, we're talking places like Jackson, Krypton, Hazard within the next hour as this continues to push to the east. Still have some moderate to heavy rain west of West Liberty right now over toward Campton and Hazel Green. More heavy rain pushing into portions of Estill County, Irvin and Ravenna, seeing some heavy rain right now as that continues to push to the east. Flood watch in effect through tomorrow morning. Flood warnings for many of us and a flood advisory also in effect for the Red River at Clay City. Our severe weather threat still there, especially in our western counties. A level 2 slight risk for severe weather. That's where the greatest risk is. Everybody's got at least a small threat, though, with the level 1 marginal risk into tonight. Level 2 slight risk for excessive rainfall in place as well. We've seen some totals. There's a look at Somerset again. We've seen some totals on the order of 2 to 2.5 inches throughout the region today. We'll break all down the potential for more strong storms, at least in a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. A controversial bill dealing with transgender and human sexuality issues in schools was debated at the state capitol again today. It's Senate Bill 150. Supporters say it keeps the Department of Education from mandating teachers to use certain pronouns when identifying students, but those against it say it removes a safety net for the LGBTQ students who need adults to help them. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what took place with the bill.
This bill already cleared a committee a week ago today, but it was brought back before that same committee this morning. The sponsor says it needed some technical adjustments, but a lot of fireworks and strong emotion expressed from those opposed to this bill. Supporters say the bill keeps the State Board of Education and Department of Education from requiring teachers to use certain pronouns that don't adhere to a student's biological sex or birth certificate. It also requires parental notification of issues regarding contraceptives, family planning, and human sexuality. But opponents say that it will lead to more bullying, even from adults. Chris Hartman with the Fairness Campaign pleaded with lawmakers to vote the bill down.
But I know you saw them, and I know you saw our young people. Perfect, whole, divine, made in the image of God, who are terrified that you will take away their basic dignity and respect.
There's also nothing in this bill that does not allow for nicknames, alternative names, if a teacher still has the belief to use those.
That committee sub did pass the committee by a vote of 9-3 this morning. Among the things it would do, it would require school personnel with the duty to report abuse or neglect if they have reasonable cause to believe that there is a risk of injury. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Phil, thank you. And we've just learned in the last few moments that the full Senate has passed that bill in a 29-6 vote. The bill now moves to the full House. We're learning more about the mass shooting at Michigan State University that occurred Monday night. 3 students were killed and 5 others remain in critical condition. CBS's Erica Mokay has the latest from East Lansing.
Michigan State University police gave an update Thursday on the investigation into Monday's mass shooting on campus, including new details about the shooter, 43-year-old Anthony McRae.
We can confirm that the shooter had 2 handguns on his person when he was located, and we have learned that they were purchased legally by the shooter, but they were not registered.
You're under arrest.
Newly released police body cam video shows McRae's previous arrest on a gun charge in 2019.
For that case, that weapon is still in Lansing Police Department custody.
As students retrieve items they left behind when they ran for their lives during the attack, many say they're still traumatized.
I've just been replaying the events over and over again in my head, hearing the shots.
Classes are set to resume next week, but many say they're terrified to return in person. A student-led petition to hold classes online has gathered more than 10,000 signatures, though anyone is able to sign.
Each member of our campus will have different needs, and our focus is on providing as much flexibility as possible.
The shooting killed 3 students and injured a handful of others, including junior Guadalupe Wapia Perez.
Congratulations, graduates of the class of 2020.
A family statement on a GoFundMe page says the process for a full recovery will take months. Erica Mokay, CBS News, East Lansing, Michigan.
Last night, thousands of students, faculty, staff, and community members gathered on Michigan State University's campus for a vigil for the 3 students that were killed, along with their families and the 5 students who remain in the hospital. Governor Gretchen Whitmer and MSU's interim president, among other university leaders, spoke at the vigil. There was one common theme among those speaking: working through the tragedy as a community.
We know there is much goodness and light in this community, and it outshines the darkness. And we know that we are Spartan strong.
Students and members of the community placed flowers on various campus landmarks. One student says she felt it was important for her to attend the vigil and that this was her way to support her classmates and the families affected. The head of the Environmental Protection Agency says air monitoring has not detected any levels of health concerns in East Palestine, Ohio, the scene of a toxic train derailment. CBS's Roxana Saberi is in Waterford, Ohio, with the latest.
We are absolutely going to hold Norfolk Southern accountable, and I can promise you that.
EPA Administrator Michael Reagan called out rail operator Norfolk Southern during a visit to East Palestine Thursday to get a first-hand look at the response to the toxic train derailment.
Since the fire went out, EPA air monitoring has not detected any levels of health concern in the community that are attributed to the train derailment.
CBS News has learned that some of the company's employees had previously expressed concern over the excessive size and weight of the 151-car train. They say it had suffered at least one breakdown on its route before it derailed in East Palestine. Despite the numerous toxic chemicals released, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine now says tests on 5 steel-encased town wells show it's safe to drink their water. And health officials say the air quality is back to pre-accident levels.
No detections of vinyl chloride or hydrogen chloride were identified.
But resident Melissa Blake says 2 days after the derailment, doctors diagnosed her with acute bronchitis from chemical fumes.
They had to put me on oxygen. They were going to wash my clothes because they didn't know what was on me.
One of the chemicals on the train, vinyl chloride, is classified as a carcinogen, and there were other chemicals as well.
What's your biggest worry?
That it's never going to go away. It's going to get worse.
In response to claims the train was too long and heavy, Norfolk Southern tells CBS News the weight was, quote, uniform throughout, with features to reduce mechanical issues. It also says a longer and heavier train used to run the route. Roxana Saberi, CBS News, New Waterford, Ohio.
The EPA says it will continue to make the screenings available to any resident who wants to have their indoor air tested. Coming up on First at 4, Consumer Reports releases its top vehicle picks. We'll reveal the hybrids and electric models that dominated the top 10.
Plus, we continue to watch the potential for strong to severe storms moving in. You see some working in to London within the next little bit. Timing it out next.
WYMT News app offers alerts on breaking stories.